10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wak Wak Attack. Today is January 24th, and we hit a really cool milestone today that Phiz was very happy about. So Phiz yesterday or the day before, a few days ago, set up a meme contest celebrating the 2000th node that stakes with Rocket Pool. So these are the first 3 memes in the 2000 node meme contest who hit the mark. We're not attacking anyone, we're celebrating decentralization. These 3 submissions will get at least 5 RPL each. I'm also willing to up the stakes if we can follow this line of thinking and improve it. I'm willing to give a total of 50 RPL for high quality work. And then there's some links to JPEGs, and here you can see Rocket Pool decentralized staking protocol for Ethereum 2.0, which is like the old tagline from the website, and it says it's got the heat map of where the nodes are in the world, and it says 2000 nodes, which is really, really cool. And there's Rio de Janeiro and Waka's nodes, which is great. I love how we've got representation on every continent. However, in 2023, I want to see at least 1 node popping up in Africa, because it looks like we don't have any in Africa at the moment. Okay, and then there's like this picture of centralized operators, limitation of freedom, vulnerable to corruption, lack of accountability, and then Rocket Pool node operators, individual freedom to transact, empowerment of individuals, and increased security and honesty. And then there's some more as well. Let's have a look. Actually, let's not have a look just yet. We'll come back to that in a minute. So then I had this comment saying that I was doing the wedding rehearsal. So I don't know if I mentioned this in yesterday's episode, but I'm doing a shrimp marriage, kind of inspired by Proteus and Marceau's whale marriage. So the shrimp marriage is I'm bringing RPL, Romana is bringing ETH, and together we're setting up a node that will be mutually beneficial for both of us. And over here we've got a comment from me saying the actual wedding is aiming to be node 2000. So Romana's quite sentimental, and he wanted to hit that target. So Jasper said please, and I had a comment saying Wak marries Romana, and then there's a ring on there, so we're putting a ring on it basically. So then what happened is Sleety shared the comment looking for Gwei, who's Romana, shared a screenshot of the RPL2k.eth registered a node, and Sleety replied by saying 2000 nodes, which is really amazing. And then we find out that the 2000th node was from Romana, so it's really cool, and that is our our shrimp marriage node that it's going to be. So we're still testing that on Goerli at the moment. We're hoping to launch it either today or tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, and then Romana sniped it. So here's Romana.eth, and it goes to RPL2k, and then that's the node. So it's really exciting to see that. So once we got that going, then that's Romana's sniped it. So now let's have a look at some of the memes, because the memes are fire. Let's go back. We might actually spend a couple of minutes looking at the memes, because there's just so many of them, and some of them are really, really fantastic. So let's have a look from here on the 23rd. Rocket Pool 2000th node operator from the office. And it says, congratulations, you're the 2000th node operator. Click here to claim your prize. And someone says they didn't use Rocket Arb, but Romana's going to use Rocket Arb for our node. And then, Grandma, what did you do the 5 RPL you won in the 2000 nodes meme contest? And I'll leave you to look at the picture of what she did with that. Bernie Sanders is saying, I'm once again asking the 2000th node operator to join the smoothing pool. We will be joining the smoothing pool. Here it says smoothing pool, and the priority fees are looking at the smoothing pool, and the fee distributor saying, hey, what's going on? You know, the guy turning his head. Zemo made this video about the 2000 nodes journey, which was really great. I don't have time to play it right now. Phil Cares has 2,000 nodes. You got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. My personal prediction is by the end of 2023 we'll have 4,000 nodes. I'm really excited about that. And then there's a picture from Pieter saying, sell me this LSD. It's from Wolf of Wall Street, and the person's holding like the Rocket Pool logo and saying 2,000 nodes. That's what decentralization means. And then there's this over 2000 Rocket Pool nodes rated.network. That is by contraband.eth. And then Pieta has another one, Rocket Pool doesn't scale. And then 2000 nodes later, and then SpongeBob's burning the piece of paper that says Rocket Pool doesn't scale. Penvic.eth says 2000 nodes. And wait, Rocket Pool is the most decentralized liquid staking protocol. And then the guy's holding the gun saying it always has been. 2000 nodes, and you start talking about self-limiting. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. So that's the Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey. And then there's a thing from Top Gear. There's Lido with 29 node operators as one car, and Jeremy Clarkson saying this is brilliant. And he's looking at the other car and it says Rocket Pool 2000 node operators, and he says Jeremy Clarkson says, but I like this. So yep. And then Kev made a non-offensive version as well. Rocket Pool is a car, and it says this protocol can fit so many node operators, which is really cool. And then Sleety made a video saying running an Ethereum node, and then there's a guy skateboarding and his friends come pick him up, and it says Rocket Pool Discord, and then he's doing some tricks, and then they put him down, and yeah, the guy's like pumping his fists. Then I won't go that because I'm going to come back to that later. And then Schifrin has the value decentralization, Lido 29 nodes, Rocket Pool 2000 nodes, Rocket Pool does, which is cool. So yeah, there's a whole lot of memes here. Like there's some really, really great ones. So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about some memes later, some really fantastic memes. But let's leave it at that for now. Okay, so one sobering thought to keep in mind is in Phiz had this post. He says, I celebrate by calling out the fact that 27% of our nodes are operated by all nodes. So I think this is a good thing to remember, that even though Rocket Pool has 2000 nodes, we still have this very slightly centralizing force in our protocol. All nodes, is doing a wonderful service for people who have internet issues, who can't stake for some reason. However, we should all do our best to try to encourage stake from home. But there's lots of anecdotal stories of people who are leaving all nodes and staking from home. So I really hope that can carry on going forward. All nodes are, providing a service, but we need them to stay up to date with getting people staking from home. So that's that. Okay, next was something that I really enjoyed yesterday, but I actually totally forgot about when it came time to doing research for this episode. So Superfiz had a post saying, who misses the RPL Benefactor? The RPL Benefactor, for those of you who don't know, was around in December. It was a wallet that was funded by Superfiz, and this person, well, I'll come back to that later, but at that time they distributed 1000 RPL to the community. So let's see. Superfiz says, who misses the Benefactor? Patches says, is Benny back? Phiz says, I sent that person a message asking where I might send a stimmy. Patricia gave me 1000 RPL to share with the community. I was so happy with the Benefactor's work that I'm sending half of that to them. And then there's lots of emojis. People are really happy. And yeah, let's see. Let me see. And then the Benefactor turned up, says, I'm back, and asked, do you remember the rules? And then there's the 3 rules. So this is how the Benefactor shared RPL last time. So it was 3 steps. 1, DM me telling me why you deserve some RPL. I reward Rocket Pool work ahead of everything else. 2, send me your address. 3, if I like what I see, I will send you RPL. And it says, tell everyone. So people were really happy about that. And the Benefactor has returned. And as far as I know, the Benefactor has already sent out around 200 RPL, I think, in just over a day. I don't think the Benefactor has been around today to send RPL, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I'm sure they'll resume soon. But it's really exciting that this is happening. So there's going to be a POAP, presumably like Sleety's working on the POAP. The Benefactor asked Sleety and me to work on the POAP because last time Sleety made the POAP and I distributed it. So I guess the Benefactor remembers that and is asking us to do it again, which is awesome. So let's see what happens next with the Benefactor. So this is the Benefactor saying, I'm back, which is awesome. And then next we had Phiz saying, by the way, Benefactor does as they choose, but Patricia and I have a strong preference for people staking what they receive. I'd be inclined to encourage the Benefactor to be more generous with those who have staked previous gifts. So I think that's a really good idea. And yeah, that's fantastic. So the Benefactor is giving more to those who have staked before. than those who maybe didn't. Or yeah, so that's awesome. Okay, and then finally we have this thing. Owl of Moistness says, what's the benefactor story? And Superfiz, I think Superfiz is the only person in the community who knows who the benefactor is. People have tried guessing, but the benefactors kind of said, please don't try to guess who I am. So Phiz says, it's a user who has shown a good history of generosity. So I sent them some of Patricio's community development funds a few times, and they share them with people here. So yeah, it's really cool that that happens. Like I said, the last time it was around 1,000 RPL at $20. This time it was 500 RPL at $40. So the amounts kind of work out to be the same. So it's around $20,000 basically. I guess the price has come down a little bit now, but roughly around that price. So it's really awesome. Let's have a look at the next page. Right. Okay. So moving on from that, we've got an update about the funding for the different PDAO groups. So Langa says, hey everyone, in accordance with RPIP 10, the PDAO reserves accumulated before RPIP 10 was put into place to be split between the PDAO budget categories. The Incentive Management Committee has fully received their back payment. The Grants Management Committee has yet to be paid their reserve payment. The GMC's reserve payment is 32,183 RPL in total. This will be transferred over the next 2 inflation periods starting this week. It will be paid following this payment schedule, and then there's dates and how much will be shared. However, Waka caught an error in that. So Langer said there is a correction to the reserve payment amount. The correct value is 35,362 RPL, and then there's the corrected amounts in there as well. So that's like 2,000, a full rewards period basically of RPL more, 3,200, which is really cool. It says, thanks to Waka for pointing out the discrepancy. Essentially, the previous number didn't include October's inflation amount, which was not paid to the GMC at the time because the GMC didn't exist then. So that's really, really awesome that, you know, we at the GMC are going to have such a nice amount of RPL to give away. Hopefully, you know, we'll keep as many people happy as possible. But if the community is not happy with anything, then they're welcome to do an RPIP and challenge that to make it go to vote. So that's really cool. Okay, the next thing we have here is a screen that's not loading. Oh yeah, okay, it's loading. So Joe posted this in the Proteus channel. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be sharing this with you, but since I'm in there, I will. Joe says, it's finally time. I'm ready to collect shipping information and payments. Here's how it'll work. It's kind of ad hoc for now, but I don't have a website, so I'll have to do. Tell me the ETH address your payment will come from and the name and physical mailing address you want your Proteus shipped to. You can DM it to me here on Discord or email it to me at info@marcadian.net. If you email it, please use the same email address you used when you reserved your Proteus. Once I have that, I'll send you the shipping quotes for sending it to your address. The shipping service I'm using offers both UPS and USPS options. Please choose your options from the list I send you and let me know if you want to buy shipping insurance. I'll include the cost of that with the shipping quotes. I'll send you a final invoice for the order and the total amount due. Once you pay, DM me, email me the transaction hash. I will ship your Proteus. As a reminder, I'll be shipping to the US addresses first while I work on VAT and licensing stuff for the rest of the world. If you don't have a US address, you have to give me the above info right now. I'll send out another ping when I'm ready for all of that stuff, but it won't hurt to send now. So at least you get some shipping estimates so you can plan accordingly. Thanks all. So this is for the fanned cases, the boxes with the fanned case. The people who are waiting for the fanless cases, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So that's me in that group. So I'll have to wait a little bit longer. Okay. Next, we have a picture. So this is what it's going to look like in the box. And it says, I can confirm it's sized well. These black boxes are really slick. So you can see here, there's an orange Proteus in there. It's got a power outlet. I think it's got the power supply, and also there's going to be an Ethernet cable in there. So it's looking really cool. Like, it's looking dope. And those are going to be shipped out very soon. And Superfiz is going to be the recipient of that first Proteus. And he says, I'm very excited to get the first production unit of the Proteus staking device developed by Joe. Looking forward to putting more nodes in the hands of independent solo operators all over the world. And then there's a picture of the Proteus, and it's really awesome. Like, I'm so proud of Joe, like, doing this work and getting about 50 Proteuses out. Patches, I think, said Protei. I'm not sure. But getting them out into the world, I think is absolutely remarkable, and I can't wait to see more of them. So let's have a look next. Here we have a page that's not loading because I have so many tabs. Okay. So David Hoffman sent this tweet out. It says, proposal to add rETH to the collateral tier on Euler Finance. I'll be voting yes, of course. So I talked about Euler Finance having a poll on their Twitter account from the head of risk or director of risk saying, should we use rETH as collateral? So David Hoffman is in support of this. He's saying he'll be voting. I guess he has either the votes delegated to him or he holds Euler tokens. I'm not sure exactly how it works voting for Euler, but he says he'll be voting yes. So it's really great that we get support from such prominent members of the community, and I'm really happy to see that. What else was I going to say about this? Oh yes, so I think Euler is one of those projects that's waiting for a Chainlink integration. As far as I've heard rumblings before, maybe that's changed now, but I'm fairly sure that's what it was. So if that's the case, then hopefully that will happen soon. But we don't really have a date on when the Chainlink integration is going to be. According to the latest word, it might take a little bit of time to get everything sorted out. So hopefully it's soon TM, or not soon TM, actual soon, but we'll see. So yeah. Next thing is this tweet from Index Coop, and it was shared by Jasper. It says, introducing the diversified staking ETH index. Diversify your portfolio, decentralize the network. So here there's a little video. Let's go to the Twitter page for it. There's a little video of what dsETH actually is. Excuse me. So it's a basket of liquid staking derivatives that has Rocket Pool's rETH, dsETH, from Lido, and I think the version from Stakewise is dsETH2. So it says dsETH enables holders to diversify their ETH stake using methodology that promotes decentralization and competition amongst protocols. The initial composition will include Rocket Pool's rETH, Lido Finance's stETH, and Stakewise's dsETH2. And then they go on to explain the decentralization and like why Coinbase is not in there, why Frax is not in there, and I'm not sure if they explain the weighting of the basket, but from what I remember, it's a lot more strongly weighted towards rETH than it is towards the others compared to market size. So I think that's really great to see. There was a tweet from Marceau that I can't find right now, who's saying that he's really curious and interested in this product and really looking forward to seeing how it grows and develops. So yeah, that's really good to see. So the way it works is they will hold a basket of these. So every time you buy a dsETH token, in the background they're buying rETH, stETH, and sETH2, and they are kind of tweaking those balances depending on market share. So yeah, it's really gonna be interesting to see what kind of adoption that token picks up and how it gets integrated into DeFi, because I think that's going to be the main factor that shows its success, is going to be just how useful it gets to be as money Legos. So yeah. Okay, next we have this tweet from Marceau from yesterday, who says, Max Long, third time in 12 years of crypto, there are times to sit on your hands and there are times to stand up and be counted. So for those of you who don't know, Marceau came onto Launchpad, which is Rocket Fuel's interview series, and he shared his story about how he went max long, which meant he put in a very substantial amount of money into ETH at the time, into crypto, but ETH specifically in 2016. If I remember right, it was right around the DAO hack. Marceau bought a big chunk of ETH and then he rode that into the bull market and sold very nicely close to the top, which was an amazing trade. And then he went long again, I think at some point in 2019 or around COVID time. Around that time he went long again and then rode that bull, and now he's saying that he is max long, third time in 12 years. He says there are times to sit on your hands and there are times to stand up and be counted. So Jort jokes and says Marceau's going to get wrecked, but I think Marceau's a very, very smart guy, and he has a very smart sense of risk management, and I think this is him showing that he is bullish about all this. Someone asked him about let me just see. Oh yes, okay, I have it ready for you here. So someone asked him about the macro factors, potentially pulling down the crypto market, and Marceau says, fuck macro, it's just noise. We're building the new macro. You can't hold a beach ball underwater. So what he's saying is basically like the pressure and the force of crypto now is just going to be too strong, and it's going to move up regardless of what's happening elsewhere. So I think that's a really interesting perspective that Marceau's holding, and I absolutely hope he's right. And I'm so excited to I'm max long too, so so I hope he's right. Yeah, okay, moving on. Let's see what's next. So from one bullish whale to another bullish person. Here we have Hal Press, who is famous for his flows analysis of ETH during the merge. It didn't quite work out the way Hal imagined, but I think the way he presents the story is his fund did quite well with that trade. I think they were kind of rotating out of it in the lead up to the merge instead of waiting for the price correction after the merge. But one of the things that Hal was famous for saying last year was that LSDs are going to be big, and I think his trade has kind of rotated now into LSDs. So the last few weeks he's been saying some positive comments about RPL, and he says, after our brief intermission we've resumed the uptrend. So this is in reference to the price ticking up overnight. It was doing really good things, and then he came and said owning RPL into withdrawals is sort of like a cheat code. He says literally none of the holders have any intention of selling, and more RPL must be mechanically bought as staking participation rises. So and then Jasper says he's right though. So definitely take that into take his previous record into consideration when you're assessing or taking hopium. But it's very, very interesting what he's saying. And then so that's what he said. We just talked about that. So that's really cool. His comments definitely coincided with the pump last night. We've retraced a little bit today, but it's RPL is in a very, very strong position, which is absolutely amazing to see. Okay, so next we had this comment from David Hoffman, who says, he replies to Hal Press. He says, have you seen the Rocket Pool community? Those guys crazy. They won't sell RPL until it's the only staking protocol in existence. So of course, none of us are selling. I'm not selling. A lot of people are not selling. I'm every day transitioning towards a forever hold strategy. And I think, it might be bumpy for the next couple of years, but in the long term, it's going to be like the best strategy you can have. David Hoffman's right? He comes into the Discord once in a while. He sees how we are, and he knows that we love the token. So that's right. Okay, next we have this absolutely banger of a tweet from Guart. He says, if you're ever stranded on a desert island, just yell Lido, and a Rocket Pool community member will locate you and tell you that with 16 ETH, you can earn more than Lido's corporate validator set or whatever. So that tweet was just brilliant because it just sums up so many things about the Rocket Pool community in one succinct tweet. And we've really developed a reputation for ourselves in the broader crypto community about being like super bullish, super passionate about Rocket Pool. And then the best reply that I've seen in a while is this tweet that Marceau sent out. So there's a woman stranded on an island and she uses rocks to write help, but nobody comes to help her. So then she changes the rocks and it says Lido is okay as a staking service. And then like planes and people in parachutes are landing on the island and it says Rocket Poolers. So I think it just summed up a great reply from Guart there for Guart's tweet. So that was awesome. And then Marceau came into trading and shared this meme. He says, I have 3 kids and no mini pools. Why can't I have no kids and 3 mini pools? So that was really good. It was like memes are on fire today. Like they were really, really good. Okay, so next I had this little update from Myso Finance, who some people have been kind of upset about first of all limits on what they have, about how you can interact with the service, and how they're like quite small at the moment, and the second thing about how the protocol is geo-blocked against the US. So Takizo was saying, I was hoping to have my first DeFi activity be leveraged RPL for rETH to buy more RPL, but then it said it wasn't available for me. So JPIC 713 from Myso Finance says, we had another call with legal this morning. We're trying from our end, but they still advised the conservative position of US IP blocking. I wish we had better news on that front. And then Takizo says, hey, no worries, I completely understand. I'm sure it's the kind of that kind of thing is blurry to say the least. And then JPIC says, from our perspective, cuts off a huge DeFi market. But yeah, hopefully someday soon, I'll be able to ping you with better news. So I really hope they can do that. And I really hope like more and more people jump into Myso Finance, because they're doing really cool things. And they seem to be really nicely aligned with the Rocket Pool community. So I hope they keep that up. Of course, I'm not getting paid or sponsored or anything like that from Myso Finance. It's just every interaction I've had with people from the team has been really good. Maybe other people can tell me if the product has some issues or not. But yeah, that's just my understanding. So someone talked about, 0xGRM came into trading and said, hello guys, thank you again. Some weeks ago I talked with some of you about my portfolio. I had ETH, rETH, RPL and Ethereum Classic, ETC. He says ETC was gambling after the end of ETH mining, in which I lost 30%. He says I'm now 48% RPL, 43% rETH, and 9% ETH, and I already coped with my loss. And RPL performance is insane at the moment. He says, thanks again, guys, and have a nice day. So I think I covered 0xGRM's message on Rocket Fuel before. If I didn't, I meant to. So Schifrin replies by saying 50% RPL, 50% ETH is the way. Congrats, sir. And then Phiz says, I'm more comfortable with 35%, maybe solo staked ETH, 35% rETH, Rocket Pool staked Ether, and 30% RPL. And Phiz says I think it's an ideal distribution for Rocket Pool Maxi right now. So Valdorf says a true Rocket Pool Maxi is 120% RPL using Myso Finance. He says, I unrecommend this portfolio. And then 0xGRM says, I'm taking higher risk because I invested all my mining gain after my return of investment on hardware and electricity. So it's already a gain anyway. But you're right, I'll start to invest later this year and choose a safer path. And Phiz says, I'll never fault anyone for being high risk. That's totally your choice. But I always try to remind people that our goal is building generational wealth, not gambling. The problem with gambling is that it's addictive. And even when you win, this one, your next gamble might blow up. And I replied, joking, of course, because I love Phiz and I love his advice. I said, this is FUD about his portfolio allocation. And Waldorf said, I feel Thomas's origin story teaches a different moral. So, look, I love Phiz. I love Phiz's advice, and Phiz has been in crypto for a long time, so it makes sense to listen to Phiz. And Phiz isn't just taking the conservative approach here, but because he's been through this, and he's lost a significant chunk of ETH. I guess he would say gambling on a token, and that didn't work out. So if you want to listen to Phiz's story about that and like his cautions about that, listen to my Launchpad episode with Phiz, and he'll definitely give you more information about what happened there. As some of you might know, my portfolio allocation is slightly different. I'm 90% RPL and 10% staked ETH through Rocket Pool. So yeah, I find it really funny. But Phiz and I have talked about this quite a few times, and he's saying that he hopes things go well for me, but he thinks I'm an utter degen. So thanks, Phiz. I love you. Anyway, Phiz has got a lot of shout outs today. Good job, Phiz. It's been a good day for you. Next, we have this comment from Dr. Doofus. Oh, Dr. Doofus is having dreams about Anthony Sassano that I won't share the details of the dream, but what happened is DMC Cartney shared this post. He says, I sat in a ton of research studies around how people integrate podcasts into their life. This feels like a textbook example of what we call parasocial companionship. You're not weird. Most people feel like we hang out a lot when we listen to a podcast regularly. It probably just means that Sassano is doing a great job of being his authentic self, enough for you to identify with him. And then Sassal says, parasocial relationships are such a large scale, are a rather new phenomenon. Thanks to the internet, it's wild to think that people will sit and watch their favorite Twitch streamer for literally thousands of hours while feeling like the streamer is a good friend, but that streamer will have no idea that they even exist. So I know that my channel is like really, really small, but I feel like I've started to form friendships with people in the community in a way because of, you know, them interacting with me through Rocket Fuel and like around Rocket Fuel. That's really, really cool. However, I do sometimes think it's kind of strange, right? That people talk to me in a way that they make it sound like they know me, even though we've never met or anything like that. But hey, like all that's going to change in Denver. So if you're at Denver and you know you're watching this episode, come along, tell me you're a watcher. I'll give you a hug. There'll be lots of smiles. We'll actually be friends. And even now, I think of you guys as my friends. So all of you guys in trading are my friends. So it's really cool. But I thought that was really interesting about how people kind of form relationships, like with people that it's a one-sided communication, like through a podcast or a YouTube channel, is definitely really interesting. And with channels like Sassano's and mine, you know, we're really personal. We just talk off the cuff in a sense. It's not scripted, it's not rehearsed. I feel like that's a lot more authentic for listeners, and I think that's why people like Rocket Fuel and Daily Gway so much. But it's definitely a new dynamic. Okay, these episodes are getting really long. So yeah, I said to people, hey y'all, since the Benefactor is having you all tell them what work you've been doing, you should tell me too, so I can give you a shout out on the show tomorrow. So this is my regular feature where, you know, I share information from what the community is doing and get some feedback from them about what they're working on and what's happening. So if my browser decides to work, the first one is from Nick Sorokish, who says, I emoji react liberally to everyone in trading to make people feel heard. And I think the reason, it might not sound like that's much work, and I think it's a really, really great thing that Nixo does, because these kind of small things are really touching for people, that, you know, they feel like they're heard, and they feel like someone's reading what they're saying. And these are kind of at a very small level, these are the kind of things that make the Rocket Pool community so wonderful, is because it feels like we're all there to support each other, and it's really lovely. I kind of talked about that yesterday as well, like with new people coming into the community and how supportive we all are. Next, we have this comment from Lee. He says, good evening, Whack Whack Attack. For this week's episode with community contributions, I have 2 upgraded to new beta build so I could run Lodestar on my Praetor node, which is really awesome because I want to go to Lodestar once 1.8.0 is out. It's been working flawlessly, by the way. Second was helping to test out the rescue node on Praetor after Patches put up the tweet. It worked as expected. So I used the rescue node on mainnet, and now they are getting that out on testnet to like iron out any issues. So I think it's really great that that's happening. So Lee, good job working on the testnet stuff. That stuff's invaluable. Okay, next we have this update from Val, who had a whole list of updates for me, but then just chose these couple. He says the Elias Moss Dune dashboard I helped fix was on Forbes, so glad that happened. And he says, responded to Euler Finance concerns about liquidity. Looks like we might get better parameters. So that's really cool. Of course, Val is on the IMC. And then we have Dougie, who says, I've been helping test stuff with the rescue node. Obviously, Patches and the scientists doing more, but I send logs so we can figure out some client compatibility issues between Nimbus and Lighthouse. I don't want the shout out for myself, but I think it does help community give back when they hear about the little things that everyone else is doing. Also, add the rescue node. It's awesome and easy to use. I've already covered that on Rocket Fuel before. If you can run a node, you are overqualified for testing the rescue node. So I'm so excited about becoming a beta tester. At the moment, I don't do any beta testing, but once I get my Proteus, I think that's what the Proteus will be set up for, is just to do beta testing. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, it's really cool. Next we have, oh yeah, I already covered Dougie. And I think I covered the next one too. Oh, no. So this one's not quite working in the same way, but I think in some ways it's just as valuable, if not a little bit sad. So Object shared a comment saying a three mini pool node operator proposed a 5.5 ETH block for the smoothing pool. So it was Avaratar who did that. So like, I feel really bad for Avaratar. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing because it's kind of sucks that you got this situation. But 5.5 ETH is like multiple years of rewards for mini pool. So Avaratar sharing that with the smoothing pool is very appreciated. So thank you for your sacrifice. And finally, we're going to end with something funny. And there's a little bit of a backstory here. So Kevster said, "Sir, I want a GIF of a lesbian cow on my t-shirt." And then Dave says, "This is so very real now, and we will have a limited edition run for ETH Denver only." So what is the lesbian cow? Well, on the night Binance was listed, literally in the minutes leading up to Binance listing, the conversations were going on about a lesbian cow t-shirt for the Rocket Pool community. And I don't remember where it fully came from because that whole time is a blur to me now. But everyone was really excited about the lesbian cow t-shirts. So it looks like Dave is leaking some alpha about for lesbian cow t-shirt fans. So that's going to be really cool. So on that note, this episode was running a little long. I really am going to work on getting these episodes tighter because they're kind of sprawling these last few days. But I hope you're all having a lovely week. Hopefully when I talk to you tomorrow, I will be married to Romana. But it might be the day after now, I'm not sure. But I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.